Hi, I'm Cathy Neptune. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to give you some tools, tips, and recipes to make your time in the kitchen fun, fast, and fabulous. I get a lot of questions, and thank you again to everybody who sends in your suggestions and your questions. But one of the main questions I hear over and over again is, what is a great company dish when you're having company? So our theme tonight is OMG, company. What are the best dishes to serve that lets you enjoy the company of your guests and make it easy and, of course, fabulous for you to serve? So there's a lot we're going to do with presentation and drama. Adds a lot to the recipes. And we're going to start with our vegetables. We're going to start out with our roasted vegetables in the oven. And this is a great technique, and I'm using stoneware. Don't forget to write in for the where to get these fabulous tools, but I love my stoneware, especially for roasting vegetables. And we're going to do the same with our mushrooms. And again, I'm using a different style stone, and we're going to take some olive oil, and I'm going to pour it through the spout all over these cherry tomatoes. And a nice variation is if you like the different colored cherry tomatoes. They have such a beautiful, they even have a chocolate, what they call a chocolate tomato, which is a dark brown color and an orange and a yellow and a red, and they all have their own very unique flavors. So we're just going to drizzle exactly approximately that much olive oil, and we have some sliced mushrooms. So how easy is that? And they're just a baby portobello or baby bellas, if you will, and just a coating on the bottom. And then we're going to add our mushrooms onto that. And I have my oven preset at 375 degrees. And we'll spread these out. And I love this technique because you put it in the oven and you cook it till it's done. So approximately at 375, probably 20 minutes or so. If you're in a hurry, you could certainly bump it up to 400 degrees, but, you know, keep an eye on it. And then a little more over here. And I'm not going to season my mushrooms, and I'll tell you why. Any salt that you have in your seasoning will draw out the moisture in your mushrooms. It'll make them soggy and rubbery when you're done. So you always want to season them unless you have like a garlic powder or an onion powder. And those are the seasonings I would use on this instead of an onion salt or garlic salt. The pure garlic, if you put it in here at that temperature, it would burn and get bitter. So I prefer to just do a coating of the olive oil, but the tomatoes aren't that fussy. And you want to season, this is a seasoned salt. You could certainly do an Italian seasoning if we were doing that type of dinner, but we're doing a Greek chicken tonight, a roasted Greek lemon chicken. And these are going to be like little red pearls that come out of the oven. They are so tasty. And I do this a lot, and I'd make double the tomatoes because you can always use the extras for pasta salads or in bruschetta. It's a great technique, so I hope you try that. I'm going to get this in the oven. Excuse my back, and pop those in there. And they'll just cook away. And the reason I love using the stones, you don't have to turn them over. They cook evenly on the top and on the bottom. So let me go over here and get my chicken breasts that are boned, but I like the skin on because that keeps the moisture inside your chicken. And I'm going to give you some basic tips on how to keep your chicken moist, because have you ever cooked chicken breasts and they're rubbery and tough? And worst of all, they're dry. So I'm going to give you a few hints on how to do that. So I'm going to preheat my cast iron skillet here. And you want a medium heat and have pot holders ready because the handles get very hot. And the reason I'm using this skillet is because it's going into the oven to finish cooking. So we're going to preheat that, and then we're going to add our oil. You always preheat your pan first and then add oil to the pan. Hot pan, cold oil, foods won't stick. So that's a good technique, and it's also going to sear the chicken. the best way to get a crispy crust on your chicken is to thoroughly pat them dry. Very, very important. So I'm going to take this and move them over here, and because these have been setting a while, and I want to make sure and get the bottom part of the chicken dry as well. There's a lot of moisture on there. And we'll dry this one. And try and get the same size chicken so they all cook evenly. And there we go, nice and dry. Put that there, and then we're going to season them. I put the paper towel on the bottom because there's still a little bit of juice on there, so I didn't want that to get back into the chicken. And what I have here is a Greek rub. And if you don't have a Greek rub, I love to have these different blended seasonings. And if you don't have that, you could certainly use oregano and basil and a little bit of garlic salt. But I'm going to brown my chicken first. I'm going to open this, I hope. You know your herbs have a shelf life, so you always want to have fresh herbs. But for this right now, I'm going to put some seasoned salt on the top and get it into the pan, and then I'm going to, when it's turned over, I'm going to put this seasoned side down, and when I put it in the pan, I'm going to season the top of it as well, just to get the flavor going. Now my pan is getting very hot, and I have in here just a little vegetable oil because it cooks at a higher temperature. So my skillet is very hot. We'll let this heat up a little bit. And let's put a good amount, but we're not deep frying it. We're just trying to keep it moist. And for flavor, I always add olive oil. But the vegetable oil kind of tempers the olive oil so it doesn't burn, because this doesn't cook at a higher temperature. So we're going to take these, let that heat up for a moment in the skillet. And you could certainly do this with a bone-in chicken breast, but I kind of, if you're serving company, you want to make it easy for them, and it's very awkward serving chicken on a bone, and I like the sear that you get on the bottom part of the chicken breast that you can't get with a bone-in chicken breast. So if you don't have them available, you can certainly bone your own chicken breast or have your butcher do it for you. So I think our skillet is hot enough. I'm going to take this over here, and let me get a fork to put that in the pan. And you don't want your pan too hot. You don't want it to spatter. And these are going fat side down. Hear the sizzle on that? That's good and hot. And that's the perfect amount to have in your skillet. I'm going to show you. You don't want your pan too crowded. So you can see how they fit nicely into the pan. That is hot. So make sure you have, like I said, your pot holders available. Now I'm going to put a little more seasoning on the other side. And we're going to brown those up. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more. And start those cooking. Now in advance, I've sliced, thinly sliced lemons, fresh lemons. And that's only one lemon, and if you slice them very thinly, you can get that many lemons slices out of one lemon. And we're going to put that on top of the chicken after we brown both sides, and then we're going to put it into the oven and finish cooking it for about probably 15 to 18 minutes. And you can always use a temperature thermometer to check it and make sure that it's done. And we're going to slice those. Our chicken is cooking, and when we get back, come right back, I'll show you how to finish these to get these into the oven. Hi, welcome back. Look at the chicken breasts that we've browned. See why I love using a cast iron skillet. We dried them really well, seasoned them with just the seasoned salt, and now I'm going to add the blend of the Greek's seasoning. And like I said, you can make your own with garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, and basil. But boy, that smells really good. And I'm going to put probably a little onion powder on it just for flavor, because chicken, you know, can be very bland, and after all, this is for company. And these beautiful thin lemon slices, I'm going to take, let's do 2 and overlap them right on the top. This is a big one here. And put those over the top. And I don't know how, but I managed to have just enough. So 1 lemon, thinly sliced, does 3 chicken breasts that are boned. And then I like to drizzle a little bit of olive oil so that these will brown. The lemon slices have browned just a little bit. Just a drizzle over the top. Boy, this looks Greek to me. And then just a little bit of seasoned salt or plain salt on the lemons to help them roast and caramelize in the oven. Now that looks good enough to eat already. The oven, I've have it on at 375. We're going to put these in and check them after about 15 to 20 minutes. You don't want raw chicken, but remember, because we've browned it on both sides, it's sealed in the moisture and started the cooking probably 2/3 of the way through, and because it's boneless, it's going to cook quicker as well. So you lose a little bit in boning the chicken, which leaves a little more moisture in it, but we've compensated by browning both sides instead of just one side. So it works out really well. There's a good balance there, and I think you'll like this technique. So I'm going to get this into the oven, and our vegetables are doing really well. And don't forget the pot holders. We're going to put this in the bottom part of the oven. And that is going to be awesome. There's nothing like roasted lemons. If you've ever done them on the barbecue grill, if you've ever grilled a half a lemon, brush it with oil and grill it on the barbecue, and then pour it over some fresh vegetables or chicken. It adds a whole new dimension of flavor for your roasted lemons. You can roast so many things and add a lot to your flavors as well. So I'm going to gather up our other ingredients for a wonderful summer salad or a spring salad for your company. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I have my chicken in the oven, the boneless chicken breasts with lemon, our Greek chicken, and we're roasting some vegetables. Wait until you see how those will enhance your menu this evening. And I'm starting here with a salad, and I have Boston or Bibb lettuce, and I just think, I mean, how beautiful, and it's your company, and you want to make it look like you did something special. And how special is this? It's just so pretty and fancy and ruffly and all those good things. So it really creates a nice little edge for you. And sometimes, honestly, I've done this salad and put all the fixings in the middle, and tell your guests you're welcome to fill up your lettuce leaf with the fixings in the middle and pour a little dressing on that and make a little lettuce wrap out of it. So there's many different things that you could do. Just your mind is limitless on these things. And this is shredded. Just some iceberg lettuce to fill in the bottom, like so. And just a little bit. Already it looks fancy. And then, oh, I'm going to bring this tray over here that I forgot. And here's a platter on little extras. And of course, you know me, I go for color. And I have some sliced radishes that I've done on a mandolin. So for color, look at how this just pops in this display. Just beautiful little shreds, and they're very, very thinly sliced. And if people don't like radishes, then they can just go around them, but they certainly add a lot of color and finesse to this salad. You can tuck them away all over. And then I thought this was fun. On the same mandolin that I had out, I have some cucumber slices that I shredded on the long way. And you can do little squares, but I thought how fun would it to be do little triangles if we did these. So these are just little cucumber triangles, and we'll put those all over for freshness. This is very, very light, very fancy, very elegant, but fun too. They always say you eat with your eyes first, and this certainly would suit that. And then I have some sliced oranges, and we're going to put those right down the middle of this gorgeous platter. And those are thinly sliced. And then if you'd like, I'm going to take and do, I always do the onions at the last minute because I don't want to be crying. And you can certainly do, remember those red onions that we do with sugar and water and let them set for a while? Well, you can certainly do that too. But I like the red onions, again, for color. And then we're going to just thinly slice, and you don't need a lot of the red onion on there, but I love the combination with the, especially with the dressing that we're going to make. And again, you could do this on the mandolin if you wanted, but I'm just going to do little ringlets. Not many, because the salad is very, very light. Break them into rings and scatter them over the top of your salad. That is a very strong red onion. But how pretty is that? Not a lot, just enough. I'm going to set that there. And then we're going to do a salad dressing. I love these little mixers. It's like a mason jar with a cover. And I love to do all my dressings in this. This is a local honey. I have about 2 tablespoons of honey in there. I'm going to put some, I love rice wine vinegar. So we're going to do about 1/4 cup of rice wine vinegar. And this is kind of, you can eyeball it. Just a little like that. This keeps it very light and allows all the flavors of these fresh fruits and veggies to come through. I like, again, a little bit of olive oil. And you want about, a quarter more olive oil than vinegar. And don't forget to write in. I'll be happy to send you the recipe. So I'm going to lift this up so you can kind of see the delineation between the oil and the vinegar. And you can always, I always taste everything as I go along. And you can go back and taste it and see the balance and what you might need in there. Of course, always to bring out the sweetness with the honey, a little bit of pinch of salt. And for good measure, because the honey is very light and the vinegar tends to be a little strong, I always add just a speck of probably 1/2 teaspoon of white sugar just to carry through those flavors. And then I think that's about everything. Oh, you know what I did too? To enhance the flavor, I have some orange zest. And why not? Since you're peeling the orange, I zest the orange beforehand and then peel it and slice it. So that's probably barely 1/2 teaspoon of the orange zest. And then we're just going to take this and shake it up really well and set that aside. And all of these things that I've done, you can see I've done a lot of prep work ahead of time as well. And you can do this too and like make your dressing ahead of time, set out and slice all your veggies probably the day of or a few hours before, and then just do a light assembly beforehand, and you can enjoy your guests and enjoy their company without spending all your time in the kitchen. Or bring your family and friends into the kitchen and give them a job to do and say, make that salad look pretty, set up all the ingredients and have at it. You know, people love to do that. With a little direction, you can have a nice salad. So I think my honey might have been a little bit cold. You can warm it up ahead of time. But we're going to set this aside and just let it marinate for a little bit. Let all the flavors meld. And then we're going to dress our salad with it. We'll set that aside. And I want to check in on our chicken and our veggies. and bring them all out and show you how all this comes together. I also have rice in the microwave. I'm going to get that out and show you how I did that. And this is a great technique here. It's just regular white rice, but we're going to make this into a risotto. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really plan to spend, if I'm having company or even if I'm not, 45 minutes to an hour adding ladles of chicken stock into my rice to make creamy risotto. I know that's the real way to do it, but I'm going to give you a great technique to do. You won't even be able to tell the difference, and I know your guests won't either. So that's just a white rice that I've seasoned with salt and pepper and a little butter according to package directions. And you can see how nice and fluffy it comes out in the microwave. It's probably 25 minutes on medium heat. You don't want to scorch it. And the butter keeps it nice and fluffy. And to that, to make it creamy, I'm adding some ricotta cheese, probably a 1/4 cup to a 1/3 cup, depending on how many. This is certainly served 4 people. And you just let it melt into the rice, and it makes it creamy. You put the cover on and let it set for a while, and just every once in a while you give it a little toss. And as that ricotta cheese warms up, it'll melt into the rice. And remember the mushrooms that we're roasting in the oven? Those should be done very shortly. We're going to take those out and add them to the risotto. So you're going to have a beautiful mushroom and creamy rice risotto to go underneath as a bed for our roasted lemon chicken. And we're going to decorate it and enhance it with those roasted cherry tomatoes. It's going to be spectacular. So we're going to just finish off the chicken. I'm going to check the oven for our veggies. They should be done shortly. And we'll be right back to finish off our fabulous OMG company meal. Hi, welcome back for our finale, OMG company. Great menu, easy. You can see all the elements kind of come together at once. Are they finished all at once? No, but in segments. So you pre-assemble them, you cook them, and then at the last minute you put everything in for the finishing touches. Now I want you to look at these beautiful mushrooms for our risotto that we have cooked regular rice and added ricotta cheese. And let me tell you, these mushrooms are crispy and done to perfection. Look at the colors and the crispness of those mushrooms. And we didn't add any salt to these, just olive oil, and bake them in a 375 oven for about 20 minutes. A great technique. Our chicken is out of the oven and it's resting to let all the juices stay in. And I think if you're not a big fan of boneless chicken breast, if you try this cooking technique, you're not going to ever be nervous about serving boneless chicken breasts, especially to company. So that's our mushroom risotto. And I'm going to move this pan over and wait until you see our roasted cherry tomatoes. Again, going with the color. And look at these little beauties. Look at how they caramelize, and that's the benefit of using a baking stone. They're just amazing. So we're going to take these, and that pan is very, very hot. We're going to take and put them all around the side of your platter. And let me tell you, if this doesn't make everything pop with color. And all we do is put olive oil and a little seasoning because I think tomatoes need a little something to give them a little flavor. But they are so sweet. And like I said, I would certainly encourage you to make more of these than you normally would, because boy, you put these in an omelet, on a BLT, bruschetta. In the summer months when the tomatoes are prevalent, I do these and just eat them in a salad, or the pasta salads are just amazing. And this was just 1 pint of regular cherry tomatoes. That goes all around the edge. Beautiful. Your company's going to feel so special and spoiled on something like this. You could certainly pack a few more in. But I love these in omelets. Harry loves tomatoes, right, Harry?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I
this
love
is...
everything that you cook.
Oh, you're so sweet. And see, we have extras. Those are good in the morning. There's an omelet. Good with spinach omelets and tomatoes. So we're going to move this over. And let me show you the chicken. The star of the dish. Look at how the lemons on top, because we put a little olive oil and salt on the top. Look at how they've browned and caramelized. Fantastic. And we're going to take these and put this right on the top of the risotto. There's one. See if we can get all of these in. The second one. And they're nicely browned on the bottom. And number 3, that is going to be a meal. We can kind of press them down a little bit. Wow, if that wasn't me, I'd be impressed. I think that looks really special. Chicken, mushrooms, roasted, oven roasted tomatoes. Our dressing we're going to do at the last minute and just drizzle our honey dressing with a little bit of rice wine vinegar and some, don't forget that wonderful orange zest to enhance our fruit addition to the salad, and cucumbers. And you can make this do radicchio if you like, or you could certainly do arugula. It's beautiful and delicious, and will certainly make your guests feel special, because I think this is pretty special. So I hope you will make this for your family, practice, make it for your friends. Thank you to everybody who writes in. This all came because you asked what I recommend, and you can't miss with this. A wonderful light fruit dessert, or a sorbet, or a light sherbet, and this is good any time of the year. So thank you again for watching. I hope you try these recipes, and may the fork be with you.